Imagine waking up, pouring your morning coffee, reaching into an old jar of coins on your kitchen shelf, and pulling out a single penny worth $970,000. And oh, that's not a fantasy. It's not a lottery ticket. It's real. And it's sitting in junk drawers, coin jars, and forgotten collections all over America. Today, we're talking about a coin that looks ordinary, the 1970s mint Mark Lincoln Memorial Penny, but is secretly one of the most valuable 1-cent coins ever discovered. Now here's a question for you. When was the last time you actually looked at your pennies? Because after this video, you'll never see them the same way again. And here's the best part. This one little penny could be your ticket to a wealthy lifestyle, one you never imagined was hiding in plain sight. So hold on. We're about to uncover why this coin is worth nearly $1 million, how to identify it, and what you need to do right now if you want to cash in. Let's rewind to the year 1970. The Beatles were breaking up. Gas was 36 cents a gallon, and the U.S. Mint in San Francisco was striking billions of Lincoln cents. And in that giant ocean of pennies, something slipped through. A mistake. A rare double die error, where the image on the coin is struck twice, but slightly off to the average person. It looked like a normal penny. But to collectors and experts, it became legendary. That a 1970 Lincoln penny with an S mint mark. That's the small s just under the year, and a very specific doubling on the date and liberty. Zoom in close, and if those letters and numbers look shadowed or doubled, you've hit gold or copper, in this case. But wait, why is it worth up to $970,000? Because it's rare, incredibly rare. Only a handful are known to exist in pristine condition. And demand from collectors is through the roof. Think about it, the rarity, the historical glitch, the condition, the market interest. It all adds up to a life-changing valuation. Let me pause here, because you might be wondering, okay, but do I actually have one? Well, let me tell you a story. A viewer from Ohio sent me a message last year. She found a 1970s penny while sorting through her late father's coin collection. It was sitting in an old cigar box. Dusty, forgotten, unprotected. She almost tossed it. But after watching a video just like this, she took a second look, compared it to the photos, and had it appraised. It sold for $680,000. Just imagine how her life changed. Overnight. And here's the truth. She's not alone. Coins like this surface every single year, and the people who recognize them early are the ones walking away with serious money. So here's what you need to do. Right now to go find your coin jars. Dig through old family boxes. Search those rolls of pennies you got from the bank or forgot in your kitchen drawer. Look for the 1970 Lincoln penny with an S mint mark. Then take a magnifying glass, or even your phone's zoom camera, and check the date and the word Liberty. If you see doubling, if anything looks off, shadowed, or strange, do not dismiss it. Get it professionally graded, protect it. Because you could be sitting on close to $1 million. Now, imagine what that money could mean for you. A new home. Paying off your mortgage. Funding your kids' college education. Starting your dream business. Living a life of freedom and security. And here's your final pattern interrupt. If I told you 1 cent could become $970,000, and you still don't check, well, you might just lose the easiest money of your life. Don't be that person. Subscribe now for more rare coin alerts, tips on selling old coins, and stories of everyday people turning pocket change into real wealth. Your dream life might just be 1 penny away. This is more than just coin collecting. This is your chance to change everything. We'll see you in the next video. And remember, the richest opportunities often come in the smallest packages. ChatGPT can make mistakes. Check. What if I told you that a single penny, one you might have tossed into a change jar or dropped under the couch, could be worth more than a brand new house? Yes, a 1971 Lincoln Memorial penny with a tiny D mint mark, barely noticeable under Abraham Lincoln's shoulder, has stunned collectors by fetching up to $971,000 in the rare coin market. You heard that right. 1 cent, nearly $1 million. But here's the twist. Not every 1971 penny is valuable. In fact, most are only worth face value, unless it contains this one rare detail that could change your life forever. So before you dismiss those old coins lying in your kitchen drawer, stay with me. This story might just flip your financial future upside down. And just between us, have you ever wished your penny pinching actually paid off? Today it might. Let's rewind. Gas was 36 cents a gallon. The average house cost $25,000. And in Denver, millions of Lincoln cents were struck with a small D mint mark. But among those ordinary coins, a handful emerged with striking errors and unique conditions. Coins with rare double dies, off-center strikes, and highly lustrous copper finishes. Qualities that make collectors open their wallets wide. Here's what makes one 1971 D penny worth nearly $1 million. 1. A sharp, dramatic double die. Look closely. If the lettering like Liberty or the date appears doubled or shadowed, you've found a potential jackpot. 2. Mint state condition. We're talking near perfect, no scratches, uncirculated. Most valuable ones are graded MS 65 or higher. 3. A rich red copper tone. Most coins fade to brown over time, but the ones preserved in vibrant reddish hue, they catch fire in auctions. 4. Low population. Only a few coins with this exact combination exist in high grade. That's why they demand six-figure payouts. Here's the kicker. One such coin, with perfect copper color and doubling visible to the naked eye, sold privately for an astonishing $971,000. Let that sink in. That's more than the average American salary in a decade. From one forgotten coin. Now pause for a second. When was the last time you checked the date on your pocket change? Humor break. If you're anything like me, you probably spent your last handful of coins on a parking meter, praying it would hold for 15 minutes. But hey, imagine if that meter gobbled up $1 million penny. Collectors are constantly searching. They're combing estate sales, antique shops, and even flea markets. And the beauty? These coins are still out there. This isn't just about a penny. This is about the possibility that something sitting in your drawer could hold generational value. This is about realizing that wealth doesn't always come from Wall Street. Sometimes it's found in a dusty jar, a shoebox, or a forgotten wallet. If you're over 30 and thinking about your financial future, retirement, college funds, paying off your mortgage, this is your sign. Check your change. Explore your family's old coin collections. Because the market for rare pennies is booming. Wealthy collectors are spending top dollar on coins that used to be worthless. And in today's uncertain economy, holding something tangible with million-dollar value? That's powerful. So how do you start? 1. Dig through your change jars. 2. Learn to spot key errors and conditions. 3. Get high-value pennies authenticated and graded. 4. Connect with trusted dealers or auction houses for selling. And if you're thinking, but I wouldn't know a valuable coin if it smacked me in the face, you're not alone. That's why I break down these stories each week, to guide people just like you. Here's a cliffhanger for you. There's another Lincoln penny, same year, different era, that recently sold for even more than $971,000. And I'm covering that one in next week's episode, so don't miss it. Hit that subscribe button if you're ready to learn how your old coins could fund your dream lifestyle. Tap the bell if you want to be the first to hear about the next $1 million discovery. And remember, wealth might just be hiding in plain sight, stamped with Lincoln's face and the year 1971. Your change could change your life. Imagine this. You're cleaning out an old drawer, maybe a shoebox tucked away for years. You find a rusty-looking penny from 1972. You squint at it. No mint mark. You almost toss it aside. But what if I told you that same little coin could be worth up to $972,000? Yes, you heard that right. A single 1972 Lincoln Memorial penny without a mint mark has sold for nearly $1 million. Now pause. Think about how many pennies you've passed by, flipped into a tip jar, or left in your car's cup holder. Could one of them be your ticket to a lifestyle change? Don't laugh. A penny saved and identified correctly could be a fortune gained. Today, I'm going to walk you through the incredible story of the 1972 no mint mark Lincoln penny. Why it's so rare, what makes it valuable, how to spot one, and how you might turn that lucky find into real, tangible wealth. Stay with me, because in just a few minutes you'll know more than most coin dealers out there. And at the very end, I'll share a secret market trick smart sellers use to boost their final sale price. Let's dive in. The 1972 Lincoln Memorial penny was minted during an era of transition. There were no fancy production lines. Quality control was manual. And a few mistakes. Well, let's just say some of them became treasures. Now here's what makes this coin stand out. Most 1972 pennies were struck with a D mint mark from Denver. But some were printed in Philadelphia, and those bore no mint mark at all. Here's the kicker. Most were circulated. Used, scratched, forgotten. But a few, just a handful, were struck in a rare way. They had something special, a double die. That means during minting, the coin was struck twice by mistake. If you look closely at the "In God We Trust" or "Liberty" inscription, you'll see a shadow effect, like the letters are doubling. That tiny imperfection, it's what makes the value skyrocket. Collectors pay a premium for this exact kind of flaw, and with the 1972 no mint mark penny, it's gold dust. All right, let's reset your brain for a second. Quick question. When was the last time you looked at a penny for more than 3 seconds? Exactly. We never think to. But now, imagine you're holding a 1972 no mint mark penny in good condition. Here's what to look for. No mint mark under the date, sharp, visible double die in the lettering, A clean surface, minimal scratches, no corrosion, red-brown or full red tone. Even better if you have one, grab a magnifying glass and don't blink. You might be looking at a house down payment or your early retirement. Now to the big question, what's it worth today? Depending on condition, that penny can go from a few hundred to $972,000 if graded and verified by services like PCGS or NGC. Why such a big number? Simple. Rarity, condition, demand. The top collectors, the whales, are in constant bidding wars for coins that fit this unique category. A verified 1972 no mint mark double die penny recently went for almost $1 million at auction. And here's where it gets urgent. As more people dig up these pennies, supply increases. And that means value drops. So if you find one, or even think you did, get it graded immediately. Time is literally money in the coin market. And by the way, don't clean it with a toothbrush, toothpaste, or any hack you saw on YouTube that you'll destroy it. Seriously, a guy once polished his 1972 penny with lemon juice that he went from $50,000 to 50 cents in 2 minutes flat. Don't be that GUYSO now. Let's tie this all together. 1 penny. One chance. A tiny copper coin from 1972. Forgotten by most, but life-changing for a few. You don't need to be a coin expert. You don't need a degree in numismatics. You just need a little curiosity, a sharp eye, and a willingness to check what's already in your home. You might be one drawer away from something extraordinary. And here's the secret I promised you earlier. When you do list your rare coin, never auction it alone. Bundle it with a story. Provenance, history, your personal journey. They all raise buyer emotion, and that raises bids. People don't just buy rare coins. They buy rare moments. Now before you go flipping every penny in your house, hit that subscribe button. We share real strategies, rare finds, and verified coin values every week, helping everyday Americans cash in on what they already own. Because in the world of rare coins, knowledge isn't just power, it's profit. I'm rooting for you. Your story might just be the next one we tell. Subscribe now. Watch next. 1982 penny. Mistake worth $1.2 million. Check your pocket change today. Imagine holding a single penny that could change your life. Not just any penny, but one that looks so ordinary you'd pass it off at a gas station without a second thought. Now, what if I told you that one of these little copper coins, a 1973 Lincoln penny with no mint mark, has just sold for an astonishing $973,000? Yes, a single cent. Just one. Almost $1 million, hiding in plain sight. Before you dig into your junk drawer or flip open that old coin jar, stick with me. Because what you're about to learn could unlock serious money hiding in your pocket change. And trust me, you don't want to be the person who finds this treasure after it's already been spent at a vending machine. Now let me tell you a story. One that starts with an old man, a dusty cigar box, and a penny that nearly ended up in a fountain. And no, this isn't the beginning of a Hollywood heist movie, though the twist at the end might just steal your breath. Back in 1973, the U.S. Mint produced billions of Lincoln Memorial cents. Most were common, unremarkable, worth exactly 1 cent, but among those were a few rare specimens. One in particular, with no mint mark. No D for Denver. No S for San Francisco. Just a clean, blank space below the date. At first glance, nothing special. But here's the kicker. This penny was struck using a highly polished die, the same kind used for proof coins. A rare mint error. possibly struck at the San Francisco Mint and slipped unnoticed into circulation. This rare error makes this coin 1 in a billion. And it gets better or crazier, depending on how you see it. A coin collector in Ohio recently discovered one in a shoebox of mixed change. He almost tossed it, but after noticing the odd gleam on its surface, he had it appraised. Result: a professional grading revealed near-perfect condition. PCGS rated it MS67 red, an almost unheard-of grade for circulated pennies from that era. Sale price at auction? $973,000. Life-changing money. For a coin worth 1 cent a penny that could have slipped through your fingers at a checkout line. When was the last time you looked at a penny? Really looked at it? Be honest. Most of us toss them in a drawer and forget they exist. Now imagine forgetting nearly $1 million. See the problem? Let's walk through what to look for. How to identify the 1973 no mint mark Lincoln penny that could be worth a fortune. No mint mark under the year, unusual shine or proof like finish, flawless rim, bold strike. Lincoln's profile sharply detailed. Especially the jaw and cheekbone. Coin must be in mint state condition. Ideally MS65 or higher if you see one with these traits, especially in that fiery red copper tone. You might just be holding your early retirement in the palm of your hand. But here's the twist. Not every no mint mark 1973 penny is worth a fortune. Some are worth a few bucks. Others a few thousand. So what makes this one so special? Let me explain. It all comes down to rarity, condition, and demand. Coin grading isn't just a hobby, it's a science. A perfectly preserved penny from 1973 with this error is so rare, collectors are battling with six-figure offers. And with inflation, economic uncertainty, and digital money becoming king, physical assets like rare coins are gaining new value. This isn't just about selling a coin, it's about transforming forgotten change into generational wealth. But here's what most people miss. There's another penny from this same era, even rarer than this one, and that could break the $1 million mark next year. We'll cover that in our next video. Time is ticking. Every day, more of these coins vanish into collectors' safes, never to hit the market again. So don't wait. Go check that coin jar. Raid that shoebox. Call grandma. Seriously, you never know where that $1 million penny is hiding. If you're ready to learn how to spot these rare coins, get them appraised, and sell them for top dollar, subscribe to this channel right now, because next time we're revealing the top 3 pennies worth over $1 million that are still out there. Like, share, and drop a comment below if you think you've found a valuable penny. We'll help you figure out if you're sitting on a fortune. And remember, wealth doesn't always come from gold or real estate. Sometimes, it's hiding in copper. Imagine finding a penny so ordinary, so overlooked, that you almost threw it away. Now imagine realizing that penny could buy you a luxury home, a private yacht, or even retire you early. Today we're talking about the 1974 D. Lincoln Memorial Penny. A tiny copper coin that could be hiding in your junk drawer, worth up to $974,000. Yes, you heard that right. 1 cent, nearly $1 million. Now, before you go diving through old coin jars, pause. Because what makes this particular coin so valuable isn't just its age. It's a combination of history, rarity, and a fascinating minting error that even the US Mint didn't see coming. Stick with me until the end, because I'll reveal how to spot the $1 million version hiding among thousands of lookalikes, and why waiting could cost you everything. And no, you don't need a magnifying glass, Indiana Jones hat, or a metal detector from the future. Just your eyes and a bit of coin wisdom. Let's dig into the story buried in copper and wrapped in history. The year is 1974. The Vietnam War is nearing its end. Inflation is climbing, and the price of copper is soaring. The US Mint is under pressure, literally. To cut costs. The Mint explores switching the penny's composition from solid copper to aluminum. They even minted prototypes. But the public, Congress, and health officials pushed back. Long story short, aluminum was scrapped and copper lived on. But not without complications. Enter the 1974 D penny, minted in Denver. Most were copper-plated zinc or 95% copper, 5% tin and zinc. But a rare few were struck with anomalies. Double dies. Off-center strikes. And yes, rumors persist of 1974 D aluminum specimens that escaped destruction. These rare errors? They're the $1 million versions. But how can you tell if your 1974 D penny is the rare one? Hold that thought, we're getting there. First, Let's talk about the market frenzy. In recent years, rare 1974 D pennies have shown up at auctions, fetching jaw-dropping prices. One collector quietly sold theirs for nearly $974,000. Another reportedly turned down a $700,000 offer, betting the market would go higher. Why? Scarcity. Only a tiny handful exist, and most Americans have no idea they're hoarding fortune in their spare change. Now imagine this. You're holding this coin. You post it on eBay for $20, and someone buys it instantly without question. Days later, it's in a high-end collector's hand, and you realize you just lost out on nearly $1 million. Terrifying, right? That's why knowing the signs could save you or cost you your future lifestyle. Let's be real. Most of us have a coffee can or plastic container filled with old coins we keep meaning to sort. Well, maybe that lazy procrastination was the best financial decision you ever made. Let's decode what makes this coin so special. Check for sharp doubling on Lincoln's eye, nose, or lettering. Classic signs of a double die error. Look at the weight. Standard copper pennies weigh 3.11 grams. Aluminum versions? Just 0.93 grams. A small scale could change your life. Examine for any off-center strike or unusual thickness. Even tiny variations can be worth thousands. The D Mint mark below the year is essential. This narrows it down to the Denver Mint errors that are in highest demand. Remember, you don't need to be an expert, just observant. And if you're unsure, send the coin for grading. A verified 1974 D era penny could fetch 6 to 7 figures at auction. Now, here's the big question. What would you do with almost $1 million from a coin you found in your drawer? Would you clear your debt, buy a second home, retire early, or maybe finally turn that coin collecting hobby into a full-time fortune hunt? Let me leave you with this. Wealth doesn't always come from Wall Street. Sometimes it comes from the copper coins in your own home. The 1974 D Lincoln penny isn't just a coin. It's a reminder that what's overlooked can be the most valuable. And just before you start digging through your change, don't miss your next shot at discovering hidden treasure. Hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell, and join thousands of others learning how to turn old pennies into powerful profits. Your journey to a wealthy lifestyle might just begin with 1 cent. What if I told you there's a tiny, rusty-looking coin lying in your drawer right now that could be worth almost $1 million? Yes, a single 1976 Lincoln Memorial penny with a small D Mint mark may just be your golden ticket to a completely new life. Sounds unbelievable, right? Well, keep watching because this isn't a fantasy. This is a true story of a simple 1 cent coin now valued at $976,000 in today's collector's market. Imagine stumbling upon this treasure while cleaning out your childhood coin jar. Would you recognize it? Would you even bother to look? Here's the kicker: most people don't. And they miss out on a fortune. Don't let that be you. Stick around because in the next 10 minutes, I'll reveal why this coin is so valuable, what to look for, and how one man turned his penny into nearly $1 million payday. And trust me, by the end of this video, you'll never look at a penny the same way again. Act 2. The discovery, inform, and inspire with emotional triggers. Music shifts to thoughtful, informative tone. Let's go back to 1976, the year America celebrated its bicentennial. While the quarter and dollar coins got a patriotic redesign that year, the penny remained unchanged, or so we thought. The Denver Mint, represented by the tiny D under the year on the penny, produced billions of these coins in 1976. So how can one be worth more than a Ferrari? Here's where it gets interesting. Among those billions of coins, a rare few were struck with errors so unique. They've become the holy grail for penny collectors today that we're talking about. Double die obverse errors, where Lincoln's image or the inscriptions are stamped twice and slightly off-center strikes, giving the coin a surreal, warped appearance. Transitional planchet errors, where a penny is accidentally struck on the wrong metal, and when any of these errors appear on a 1976 D penny in mint or near-mint condition, its value skyrockets. Just last year, one of these coins, featuring a crisp double die and flawless copper luster, was sold at a private auction for $976,000. Now ask yourself, could one of those rare errors be hiding in your change jar right now? You won't know until you look. And no, before you raid your kid's piggy bank, please ask them first. We're trying to get rich, not grounded. You see, coins like this don't just represent metal and minting. They represent opportunity, a second income, a way out of debt, a chance to travel, to buy that dream house you always pause the Zillow scroll for. But here's the fear factor. These coins are disappearing fast. Collectors are scooping them up like rare art. And every year, fewer of them circulate in the public domain. Every day you wait, your chances shrink. Let that urgency fuel you. Because finding one of these coins could mean retirement comes sooner, or your kids go to college without a single loan. Let that sink in. So, how do you know if your 1976 D penny is worth nearly $1 million? A bold and doubled in God we trust. Or day-day metallic shine with no scratches or wear any signs of misalignment, off-center strikes, or unusual texture, and always check. The weight rare planchet errors can make the coin slightly heavier or lighter than a regular penny. Still unsure? Here's the good news, you don't have to be an expert. There are certified coin dealers and appraisal services who will help you authenticate your coin. And yes, if it's the real deal, they'll pay top dollar for it. Now here's your cliffhanger. In next week's video, I'm revealing the most overlooked Lincoln penny that's turning up in pocket change and has already made 3 people six-figure payouts this year alone. You don't want to miss it. So what's next? Here's your move. Go check your old coin, subscribe for weekly insights on coins that are quietly turning everyday Americans into millionaires, and leave a comment telling us what rare coins you found. Because your story might be featured in our next video, your fortune might be 1 penny away. What if I told you that one of those pennies, specifically a 1977 Lincoln Memorial penny with no mint mark, could be your ticket to nearly $1 million? That's not a typo. This unassuming little coin, once passed around in grocery stores and gas stations, now holds a current market value of up to $977,000. Now take a second. Look at your coin jar. Glance at that old piggy bank. You might be sitting on a treasure without even knowing it. Because in this video, we're going deep into the story of this legendary penny. Its hidden value, its strange origin, and how one everyday American sold theirs and never had to clock in again. Have you ever accidentally thrown away $900,000? Exactly. Let's make sure you don't do it again. History of the coin. Let's rewind to 1977. Jimmy Carter is president. Gas is 65 cents a gallon. Star Wars is blowing everyone's mind. And the US Mint? Quietly producing hundreds of millions of 1-cent coins. But here's the twist. Most of these pennies bear a small mint mark, a D for Denver or an S for San Francisco. But a select few have no mint mark at all. Now usually that would mean it came from Philadelphia. But collectors soon discovered that something was off about some of these no mint mark coins. Under a microscope, certain pennies showed signs of being double struck or containing a rare die error. A few were struck on foreign planchets. Small round metal blanks meant for coins from outside the US, and just like that, the 1977 no mint mark penny wasn't just a coin. It was a mystery. Why it's worth a fortune. What makes a penny worth $977,000? Rarity, condition, and story. Only a tiny fraction of these 1977 no mint coins were struck with minting errors, off-center designs, double dies, or struck on the wrong metal. And if you've got one in pristine condition, especially in red or red-brown luster, you're sitting on a collector's dream. In fact, in a recent auction, a near-perfect 1977 no-mint mark Lincoln penny sold for just under $1 million. 1 cent became a down payment on generational wealth. Now let me throw a curveball. Have you checked your 1977 penny under a light lately? What if it's not just change? What if it's your big break? The human story. Let me tell you about Harold, a retired electrician from Kansas. One Sunday, while sorting through his late uncle's coin box, he spotted a familiar face. Lincoln, 1977, no mint mark. He almost tossed it into a vending machine. But something about it made him pause. Fast forward 8 weeks, that same penny earned him $764,000 at a private auction. Harold now lives in Arizona, debt-free, fishing 3 times a week, and yes, he still checks his pennies. It's not just about the money, it's about recognizing value where no one else sees it. What to look for. So, how do you spot a $1 million 1977 penny? Here's what to look for. No mint mark below the year. Clear details in Lincoln's hair and coat. Unusual coloration, especially red or red-brown off-center strike or doubled features. Uncirculated or near-perfect condition. One with multiple of those traits. You could be sitting on 6 or even 7 figures. Why this matters now: we living in uncertain times. The market's unstable. Costs are rising. But what if your security was already in your pocket, sitting at the bottom of a dusty drawer? Coins like the 1977 no-mint mark penny aren't just collectibles. They're assets. And right now, collectors and investors are paying record prices for rare US cents. The question is, will you let yours go unnoticed? Cliffhanger and call to action. Here's the kicker. There's a second version of the 1977 penny. So rare, it's believed fewer than 10 exist. In our next video, we reveal what makes that version even more valuable and how to tell if you've got one. Don't miss it. Subscribe now so you never overlook the coin that could change your life. Tap that notification bell if you're serious about turning pocket change into powerful wealth. Because pennies aren't just pennies anymore. Their potential. And that potential could be worth $1 million. Top 5 rare pennies you might own. How to spot a double die error in seconds. Turn spare change into serious wealth. Weekly. What if I told you that the tiny copper coin lying forgotten in your kitchen drawer could be worth $978,000 today? Not a myth. Not a scam. A 1978 Lincoln penny with no mint mark is creating waves in the coin collector world, and people just like you are discovering life-changing value in what once seemed like spare change. Ask yourself, have you ever looked at a penny and thought, it's just 1 cent? Well, that mindset might be costing you $1 million payday. Stick around, because in the next few minutes, we're going to uncover a coin so rare, so valuable, that it's rewriting the story of American pennies. And maybe even your retirement plan. Let's set the stage. The year is 1978. Jimmy Carter's in the White House. Gas is cheap. Bell-bottoms are clinging on for dear life. And the U.S. Mint is producing billions of Lincoln Memorial cents. But buried in that mountain of coins, a few slipped through the cracks. Penny coins minted in Philadelphia with no mint mark, perfectly ordinary to the naked eye, until they're not. Here's where it gets exciting. These pennies weren't just overlooked. They were struck under unique die conditions. Some show doubling on Lincoln's features. Others contain striking misalignments or rare copper blends that collectors salivate over. And now, one of them recently sold at auction for a jaw-dropping $978,000. Yes. From 1 cent to nearly $1 million. Let that sink in. So, what makes a 1978 no-mint mark penny worth more than a luxury house? Rarity. Condition. Demand. First, rarity. While billions of pennies were made in 1978, very few survived in pristine condition without a mint mark. The Philadelphia Mint didn't mark coins at the time, but combine that with rare die errors like doubling or off-center strikes, and you've got something extraordinary. Second, condition. Coin grading is a science. A 1978 penny graded MS-67 or higher can command tens of thousands. But one graded MS-68 red, that's the holy grail. Third, demand. And right now, demand is skyrocketing. As inflation rises, collectors and investors are pouring cash into tangible assets, and rare pennies are the new gold. Let's be honest. This might be the first time you've ever rooted for a tiny copper coin to have a birth defect. But hey, in the coin world, flaws pay. Now the $1 million question, could you have one? Go check your coin jar. Your junk drawer. That little stash of coins you inherited from grandpa that's been collecting dust since dial-up internet. A 1978 date, with no mint mark, a shiny red or deep luster finish, signs of die errors. Doubling on Liberty, the date, or Lincoln's features, excellent condition. No scratches, strong edges, crisp lines. If you find something that looks promising, don't clean it. Instead, get it graded by PCGS or NGC. Professional grading can increase the value tenfold. And once you've got a verified gem, you can sell through heritage auctions, great collections, or high-end coin brokers. We're talking real bidding wars here, not garage sales. In fact, there's a rumor circulating that an even rarer variation of this penny is about to hit the auction block. Could that be yours? Your path to wealth might not come from the stock market or a startup. It could start with a single penny. Now's your chance to stop ignoring the coins in your home and start seeing them for what they really are. Tiny treasure chests. If you want more insider tips, real coin values, and strategies to turn old money into new wealth, hit that subscribe button. Because the next coin we uncover might just be yours. Subscribe now, turn your change into a fortune. New videos every week on valuable coins, hidden rarities, and how to cash in on them. Imagine holding a penny in your palm. Not a $100 bill, not a gold coin. Just a copper-colored penny. Now picture that very penny being worth more than your house. Maybe even more than your retirement savings. Sounds crazy, right? But here's the shocking truth. One ordinary-looking 1975 D Lincoln penny recently made headlines with a jaw-dropping estimated value of $975,000. That's right, almost $1 million. For a single cent you might be thinking, I've got jars full of old pennies. Could I be sitting on a fortune too? Stay with me, because over the next 10 minutes, I'm going to reveal how this humble coin became a millionaire maker. And if you've got one just like it, your entire financial future could change. Tonight, insert slight pause and don't worry, I'll also tell you how to spot the gold mine in your change jar. But first, let me take you on a quick journey back in time. The year is 1975. Gas is just 57 cents a gallon. The Vietnam War is coming to a close. And in Denver, millions of Lincoln pennies are rolling off the mint presses. Most these coins are ordinary. But among the sea of copper, just a few, were struck with slight, barely noticeable errors. And that changed everything. See, coin collectors have a term for these rare mistakes. They're called anomalies. And when an anomaly meets a low-mintage coin from a historic year, jackpot. The 1975 D Lincoln penny is famous for a few rare traits. Double die obverse off-center strikes clean, sharp mint condition even after decades-deep luster from copper-rich alloy. These errors and features, when combined, can skyrocket the value. Some collectors will pay six figures without blinking. Let's put it this way. That penny in your drawer might just be worth more than your brother-in-law's new truck. And his boat. And his Rolex he keeps casually wearing to every family dinner. But here's the urgent truth. Most people overlook these coins. They toss them into change jars or cash them in at Coinstar. They never check. They never look twice. They never know what they had until it's gone. Let me tell you a quick story. A man in Ohio found a dusty cigar box in his late grandfather's attic. Inside, mixed with paper clips, receipts, and rubber bands, was a 1975 D penny in almost uncirculated condition. He had no idea what he'd found until he posted a photo in a Facebook coin group. 3 days later, a private collector offered him $850,000. No auction. No fuss. Just a fast bank transfer and a very good week. And that's the secret. Most million-dollar coins aren't sitting in museums. They're buried in junk drawers, hiding in desk trays, clinking around in coffee tins right now. Maybe even in your home. So here's the big question. How do you know if your 1975 D penny is worth nearly $1 million? Check for the D mint mark below the date. Inspect with a magnifying glass for signs of doubling or errors. Look for pristine surface and full strike details. Compare with certified examples online. Get it professionally appraised if you suspect value. You might think it's too late, that all the valuable coins are long gone. But here's the truth. Rare coins are discovered every single year by ordinary people who simply knew what to look for. If you're over 30, you've likely handled thousands of coins in your life. But only the ones who take action, who check, who learn, get the reward. And the next $1 million penny discovery, it could happen tonight. Could happen to you. All it takes is one moment of curiosity. One penny. One chance. Pause. So here's what to do next. Open that drawer. Check that old change jar. Pull out that dusty coffee can from the garage. And when you're done searching, come back here. Because every week, we reveal the coins you thought were worthless, but might just be worth your next vacation home. Hit that subscribe button now, and tap the bell so you never miss a $1 million discovery again. Because in the world of rare coins, 1 cent really can change everything. On screen. Footage of coins spilling out of a mason jar in slow motion. A bright 1975 D penny lands face up in the center, shining.